We're about 1 week away from the release of Nintendo Switch 2, and there's a lot of information that has come out so far this week. Whether it be there being 3 different cartridge types for Nintendo Switch 2, the Pokemon Legends ZA release date, or people getting their hands on Switch 2 early, there's a lot to talk about this week. And today we're going to be doing just that and kind of giving a recap of everything we learned about Nintendo Switch 2 or just Nintendo this week alone. As honestly, so far this week has been pretty crazy. With that being said, I'm the biggest nub on YouTube, Christendo, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like it and subscribe to the channel as it helps me out a ton. Last video, we got a total of 14 new subscribers to the channel, so let's see if we can top that with this one. I also just wanted to mention here, if you're watching this video and you're excited for Switch 2 just like I am, I'm going to be doing a 24-hour stream where I spend 24 hours straight just playing the console. No sleep, just Nintendo Switch 2. And with that in mind, I would love for you to hop in, whether it's for multiple hours or even just a second. Just stop by, say hi, I would love to see you all there. Also, if you want to talk to me and others about all things Nintendo, consider joining the ChrisCore Discord server. The link is down in the description. Now, I guess it would only make sense to talk about the thing that many people are probably the most interested in, being the release date of Pokemon Legends ZA. Today on the Nintendo Today app, or even just on Nintendo social media pages, it was announced that Pokemon Legends ZA will be releasing on October 16th, 2025. Previously, I thought that this game would release in November because Pokemon really loves their November release dates, but instead they're releasing it just a week after my birthday, which is honestly kind of funny. I swear I can never get a game that's released on the same day or even the same week as my birthday. On top of that, we also have confirmation on what the price for this game is going to be, where for Switch 1 it's going to cost $60 as a normal game would for the Switch 1, and the Switch 2 edition of the game being $70. Obviously, if you really wanted to, you could buy the Switch 1 version with the $10 upgrade for the game for Switch 2 if you have a Switch 2. But if you want it all in just one package, Pokemon Legends ZA for Switch 2 is going to cost you $70, which we came to expect. Moving on now, let's talk about there being 3 different types of cartridges for Nintendo Switch 2. You might be like, there's 3 different types of cartridges? That doesn't make any sense, but apparently there is. This comes from Central Leagues, where they posted a tweet about there being 3 different types of Switch 2 cartridges, and the way to differentiate them is based on the first 2 characters, where LB are going to be games that only work on Switch 2, so like Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza. The ones that start with LP are going to be for the game key cards, which will also have kind of a key in the top icon next to the Switch 2 logo. So these being games like Hogwarts Legacy, I believe, Sonic X Shadow Generations for Switch 2. Most third-party games will have these. And then there's also LN, which are going to be for cartridges that work on both Switch 1 and Switch 2. So I'm going to guess Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 edition. The example given here is Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma Nintendo Switch 2 edition. So literally just any games that will also be compatible with Switch 1 that have Switch 2 upgrades, that's going to be the third type. I know this is definitely confusing. I just thought it would be interesting to just talk about this here because it is weird that with Switch 2, we're going to be getting 3 different types of cartridges. Again, being ones that work only for Switch 2 game key cards and cartridges that work on Switch 1 and Switch 2. I don't know. I just found that interesting, so I wanted to bring that up here. Another thing I found pretty interesting was this week, not just one person, as we'll get into later, but 2 people have gotten their hands on Nintendo Switch 2 before the launch of the console. Someone made a unboxing video, or unboxing short I think it was, where they unboxed the Switch 2, and we got to see the packaging of the Switch 2 in better quality, obviously, as well as just kind of how the Joy-Cons and the screen are displayed in the box. Which I gotta say, the Switch 2 screen is massive. Like, I knew that this console was gonna be big, but holy moly, is it huge. And the Joy-Cons just look massive as well. Like, again, I know that this is gonna be a bigger console, but like, holy moly, this is huge. I think it's also kind of funny because apparently there's an update that will be released at launch on June 5th for Switch 2 that allows you to actually use the console. So basically, this person risked everything just to get a glorified paperweight until June 5th. That's kind of funny. And like I said, there's not only just one person that got their hands on Switch 2, there were 2 people. A Russian channel that I'm not even going to try to say the name of because I don't know Russian at all, got their hands on the console and unboxed the entire thing. So we got a better look at the console than we did with that previous video, where we basically got to see everything that comes out of the box. In this video as well, it seems like that there's going to be UI music. I don't know if this is going to be just for when you're setting up the console or if there's a way to be able to play UI music while you're in the menu. But regardless, I think that's pretty cool. Plus, just being able to get a better view of the console and just what comes out of the box before the console comes out is kind of nice. Obviously, it would have been nice for it to be a surprise, but you know, it was inevitable that this console was going to come out early or someone was going to get their hands on it early. So you know what? I just think it's kind of cool that we got to see it regardless. And then lastly, this also comes from that same Russian channel. They also did a video where they gave a little walkthrough of first setting up the console as well as the menu, and based on what I saw from this video, it seems like that the setup of the console is gonna be pretty similar to how it was on the Switch 1. But I gotta say, the little startup animation for when you're booting up the console for the first time, so the UI and everything like that, it was really sick. I'll show it on screen. Just the whole like going from Switch 2 and then like everything popping in, it really did have a lot of personality, and I'm just happy that we got some personality on Nintendo Switch 2 because I was worried that there wasn't going to be any. But with that, that's all I really wanted to talk about today. If there was anything I missed that was also showing off or leaked, I guess, this week as well, please let me know down in the comments because there's definitely a possibility I missed something. But with that, that's all I really have for this one. If you want to see another video by me, there's a video on screen now where I rank all the item box designs in the entire Mario Kart series. And while it's a silly ranking video idea, I think you'll enjoy that one. With that being said, I'm the biggest nub on YouTube, Cristando, signing off. And as always, goodbye, Nub Nation.